My name is Howard Voss Altman, and I serve as the senior rabbi of Temple Beth-El here in Providence.
So I just had the pleasure of speaking to the rabbi that testified earlier. I was able to stop him in the hallway and have a conversation with him.
I'm here to advocate for the passage of the Reproductive Healthcare Act, which will ensure on a statewide basis the constitutional right of every woman to make, in consultation with her loved ones and her physician, the critical choices regarding her personal health and well-being. Judaism is unwavering in its emphasis on the living. That is, it demonstrates a clear preference for the life and health of those who are already living, on the physical and psychological health of the mother, as opposed to the fetus, which is understood in Judaism as a potential life.
I'm heartened by the fact that you used the word potential this evening, because with the two dichotomies with regard to the religious perspective regarding life, those who believe it begins at birth, those who believe it begins at conception, all would not be able to deny the potential of life in both those instances and everywhere in between. I think that the word potential someday will resonate beyond these halls and hopefully throughout the country, and that will be a guiding principle.
There was a rabbi who had spoken about this bill, and she was advocating for Bill 7340, saying that she said Judaism, more of an emphasis on existing life rather than potential life. Just this past Monday, we celebrated the Annunciation, which is when Mary came, and I know not everybody's Catholic, but this is when the archangel came and told Mary, that she was going to be having Jesus. We celebrate the conception of Jesus, not just his birth on Christmas, but that's the day of his conception. Wouldn't our children be the ones with the most potential? Don't our children have more potential even than us grown-ups? And then wouldn't it stand to reason that a baby in the womb would have more potential than any of us? They have more of their life ahead of them than any of us do.
His testimony was probably the most troubling so far, because I don't know if it was because he's a rabbi or what he said, or maybe the combination, but he essentially denied what science put to bed, it must have been 50, 60 years ago, conclusively. I mean, absolutely, physically, verifiably, conclusively, that the fetus is a human life, and he replaced it with radical moral relativism. Sort of modernism that says, well, we don't really know, so it's right for you, it's right for me.
You see, I believe with my heart and soul, in accordance with my religious beliefs, that human life begins at birth and not before. And others believe, with their hearts and souls, in accordance with their religious beliefs, that human life begins at conception. And no one in this room, not even King Solomon himself, could possibly say that one side is right and the other side is wrong. Just because I believe in my tradition does not mean that it's universally true. It just means that I believe in its value and its worth. And the same principle applies to the other side. Just because you believe something to be true does not mean it's true. And it also does not mean that your truth is universally shared. It's just the truth you believe.
It's just verifiably insane for an adult man who calls himself a cleric to come here as one of the expert witnesses for the pro-choice side, and to actually say that we don't know when human life begins, because that's the only question that matters. So the other side wants to keep this real ambiguous. It's a big mystery. Could be conception, could be birth, might be viability, not sure, so we can abort them. It's complete nonsense. And anyone sitting up there, honest to God, if you actually buy what that rabbi said, you need to resign.
And the choices that are most personal to us, choices concerning a woman's right to self-determination, a woman's right to have autonomy over her own body. These are the choices that only a woman can make. Not the Congress, not the state legislator, not the preacher, not the rabbi, not even the concerned citizen who believes with all his heart and soul that he knows best.
So I asked him, I said, Rabbi, when does a genetically distinct being come into existence in the womb? And there's witnesses to this conversation. This is what he said to me. He said, I'm not sure exactly when, but it's somewhere around 28 weeks. That's insane, honestly. My wife is 28 weeks pregnant right now. That baby was kicking, arms, legs, head.
It is also important to note that the particular branch of Judaism that I proudly represent, Reform Judaism, emphasizes the value of autonomy and personal choice above all else. We believe that every human being has the God-given ability to make choices in their education, career, sexuality, ethics, beliefs, and every other deeply held conviction, and that such choices are what makes each individual uniquely themselves. Indeed, we believe that the fundamental essence of what it means to be human is the ability to exercise free will.